Hi, my loves. So I am back with another video, and in today's video, I wanted to kind of just share my grad school experience with everyone here. So this was quite a while ago. I would say like maybe like 7 years ago. So my grad school or my time in grad school was rough for me. Um, there was a lot that happened to even get me into grad school. And then when I finally got there, I this light is reflecting and I don't like it. Um, one quick second. Hmm. One quick second. Let's see. Okay, so I'm back. So yeah, so my grad school years were difficult for me, and I just wanted to share how I got through it and just what how it unfolded or what it looked like. Yeah, so I remember it was difficult just even getting into grad school because I had to overcome a lot of mindset setbacks and limiting beliefs that I held within myself to even um, get into grad school or to even apply to grad school. So I took a GRE exam years before I decided to apply to grad school. I had applied to grad school multiple, I would say a few times or a couple of times. And I think, I think I would start the process of applying and then I would stop in the middle of it because of personal mindsets or personal thoughts that I held about myself that kept me from pushing through. And then when I finally did push through, I had to overcome um, so many, I don't know the word for it. I want to say so many mountains, and they weren't even they were just, I don't even know if it was like mountains that I created for myself and they weren't even real. They didn't even exist, but there were things that I had believed that were of who I was, and it held me back in such a very um, real way. So I finally, so okay, so I go after the program it is that I want to see myself in, and it was a program that I was passionate about. It was in a place that I wanted to live in, and it was my dream to always have a master's degree. It was my dream to always live in Miami, Florida. And so in order to get to where I wanted to be, I had to take my GREs. Now, mind you, I already had taken my GREs a few years prior, probably 5 years prior to applying to this program. And I didn't do well in my GRE program, and or in the exam is what I really meant. And so because I didn't do well on the exam, I felt that I had to take it over again, and it was a very difficult exam to take because I don't like standardized testing. I don't feel that standardized testing actually tests your smartness, your intelligence. Sorry. So I just didn't feel like taking it again, and I was forcing it, and I was forcing myself to study, and I didn't want to study. I was forcing myself to come up with the money to take it a second time, and I didn't want to take this GRE test again. And I hit a wall where I had to tell myself that I'm good enough. I'm enough. What I've done is enough. And I don't have to um, force it if it doesn't feel right. And I swear to you, it so did not feel right within my body to take this exam a second time again. And at that time, I constantly would just have a lot of negative self talk, which is what set me back from applying in past moments when I wanted to go and apply for grad school programs. So I had to overcome the hurdle of believing that I was enough. Then from there, I had to overcome the hurdle of what my reality was giving me at the time, which was a difficult roommate. I was living in an apartment, and I was dealing with a really difficult roommate, and I didn't feel safe, and I didn't feel that I was on equal footing with this person, and I was paying more rent than she was. And I was being so poorly treated, so, so poorly treated. So I literally left within 2 days or a day of expressing that I wasn't happy with a situation that we were going through. So that was my reality at the time. So now I have to look for a place. I didn't want to I was studying for a GRE or applying for grad school all at the same time. Didn't want to do the GRE. And then I went ahead and I just applied to the program, the only program that I was interested in, that I felt connected to. And I got in. The only thing was that I got in um, under conditional acceptance. So I had to have a lot of faith in this entire process. I had to go after a dream that I've been wanting for such a long time. And then not only that, I had to let go of what I thought I was supposed to do for a grad program. Um, and I could see that the program that I initially had in mind wasn't what fit me for who I was. So I had to decide for myself, like, what do I truly want to pursue if I'm going to go back to grad school? And it was between mental health therapy and global and social cultural studies. And I had a passion for travel, and I had a passion for society and the way it's built and constructs. And I had a passion for culture. I had a passion for people. And so, because of that, I knew that what I was going after wasn't the right program for me. So I had to let go of something that I had held onto for such a long time, that I believed was the path for me to go down into, because I'm a, because at the time I was a good listener, and at the time I was someone who really cared about people, and I really cared about how people just like the best life experience that someone could have is what I really authentically wanted to show up for people for it. And I believe that if I became a counseling therapist, that I could help people get to a place where they could start um, creating a better life for themselves. Um, but in counseling, you don't have a lot of input on how your clients start managing their own lives. And I I also felt that, just because I was a quiet person and I observed people and I listened to people, that wasn't necessarily the best um position and role for me to play as the person that I was. And I'm so grateful I never chose something that I thought that was kind of an expectation that I put on myself, and it was kind of an expectation that I felt that I needed to um, be in order to create a authentic, fulfilling life. Um, so once I got over that hurdle, I chose what I really desired and I went after it. And that was a mindset that I needed to break through. I needed to create a breakthrough for myself in that. And I don't really know how it happened, but I believed in myself, and I believed in living my truest authentic self. So I went for what I really desired, which was to be able to study about cultures and society and so much of what makes life the way it is. And once I chose that path, it really just kind of set me free and has opened me up to so much more of just who I am and what I'm here for. And so once I got accepted, once I decided to leave this toxic environment that I was living in, once I allowed myself to believe in myself and to create the reality I wanted to experience, like go after it, like really step into it because it was being given to me from the acceptance, even though it's conditional. I had to believe in myself enough to move out of a city that I was just so used to living in. So at the time I was living in Philadelphia, and I really didn't feel like that's where my life was going to um, propel. I didn't feel that I was going to um, grow there. And so because of that, I had to believe in myself enough to leave what I knew. So I had at this time I had been living in Philadelphia for at least somewhere between 6 to 7 years. And I had just had, I was so tired of being there and I had enough. And so everything was just the perfect storm. I decided to um not settle. I decided to not settle. I decided to believe enough in myself that I would make it work. I would make this work, even though it wasn't a solid, like, full on thing. So, the thing about being conditionally accepted into a program is that if you don't meet a certain GPA by a certain point in time, you will get kicked out of your grad school program. And so because of this, I knew I had to really work hard. I knew I had to really, like, put fire behind my ass and make shit happen once I stepped um into this opportunity. So I decided that of course I would accept the conditional acceptance. So I accepted the offer letter for grad school. And then once I accepted it, I started doing the due diligence of just packing my things and letting go of things and selling things and um, just really putting the energy and the intention and the momentum behind um, moving to another city, which was Miami, Florida. And then once I got to this program, once I got to this school, I just had to work through so much. I had to work through so much of my own negative mindset, my own limiting beliefs, my own struggles, my own perspective of who I was while in grad school. And my perspective while I was in grad school was that I wasn't a smart person, and I wasn't someone um, who things came easy to. Like, it was like studying and reading didn't come easy to me. But because so as I moved further and further along my grad program, it became effortless for me to go through, or to do the work, basically, is what I wanted to say. It became effortless for me to do the work. But in the beginning, like, the first year was the most difficult and the most roughest year that I had. And I don't know how I got through it. Actually, if I think about it, I know how I got through it, because I really got smacked in the face with my health while I was in my first year of grad school. So I really had to just take it a step back, and I really needed to just slow things down, and I really needed to hear and listen to the way that I was talking to myself, because that is what really just set me up for a hard time in my first year of grad school. So it was the things that I was saying to myself. It was the beliefs that I held, the negative beliefs that I held about myself. And it was the pressure and the stress that I was putting on myself that put me in a place where I lost. I know, and this is funny to me now. It's hard for me to say it, but I lost partial vision in my eye because I had put so much stress on myself. I had manifested something, an illness, a, uh, a injury to myself, because of the way that I saw myself during grad school, because of the way that I had talked to myself. And so I had to undo all of this work, all of this negative feedback that I was giving myself while I was doing the work, while I was really putting in so much effort into having a master's degree, while I was really giving it my all, and I was doing the best that I could. I was still putting myself down, and that caused such a a rip in time for me, because of my health was like now going downhill. But at the same time, I had to keep up a certain GPA to maintain my enrollment or my acceptance at this program, at this school. So once I finally saw that everything that I had been saying to myself was what put me in the situation I was in, I had to now start finding a new way to love myself and to accept who I was and to believe in myself. And the way that I did that was that I started saying things like, okay, Toro, you're doing the best that you can. You're going to be okay. You're trying your hardest, or you're trying your best. I had to start implementing positive language, positive intentions, positive thoughts about who I was within myself through my thoughts, in order to heal in order to physically heal, in order to mentally heal, in order to spiritually heal, and emotionally heal. And all of this got me to a place where I was able to overcome a lot of my limiting beliefs, a lot of my setbacks in how I was presenting myself in the world at the time. And also, it allowed me to fucking graduate and get a master's degree in the very thing that I was passionate about, which was people and travel and culture and tradition and ceremonies and rituals and spirituality and faith and religion and everything that makes up the reality that we now call life. So, if there was anything that I could share with you about my personal journey and what it took for me to now be where I'm at, or to now be the person that I am, which is someone who's very confident in themselves, someone who's very vocal, and someone who's very secure in who they are and what they want for themselves and what they want for their lives, it would be to one, trust the process, two, believe in yourself, three, take your time. I know that it's a long road, but you can't get to where you want to be pushing yourself to get there, hating yourself to get there, depleting yourself to get there. And these things are the things that I was doing while I was in an already stressful situation by being in a pressure cooker of having to maintain a certain GPA by a certain time, and then also just not fully having confidence within myself that I could get there now, or that I could achieve what I was after now that I finally had what I wanted. So, yeah. So that's my video for today. And I really hope this reaches someone who might be going through a tough time with their grad school program or their undergrad school program, and just really settle in into the fact that you are your greatest gift. You are the only person who can truly give yourself what it is that you want if you're willing to. And the way you do that is through being patient and kind, loving, and supportive to yourself. I'm Addie Toro Majek, and this was my video for today. Okay, I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.